Hey y'all. So I was gonna post a new video today that was about gonna be another Broadway Life episode, but I decided in lieu of everything that's been going on in the country and everything that's going on in the entertainment industry, I want to talk about something a little more personal, and it's a little scary because I think it's potentially very controversial and maybe even offensive, but at the risk of being vulnerable and putting it out there, and also really wanting to help other young men, I'm going to talk about my history of, I've had sexual assault. I've been in situations where it was not appropriate, and with everything that's happened with Kevin Spacey, I have a lot to say about it because I feel like we're putting the blame in a lot of the wrong places. I won't say that I don't think Kevin Spacey's innocent in all of this. I mean, it certainly sounds like everything that happened on set of House of Cards is really sketchy. But what happened with Anthony Rapp, to me, kind of hit home because, as a child, as in high school, I had several older guys in their 20s take advantage of me. And in college, I had a professor, without getting into the details, I had a professor throw himself on me. And those were moments that deeply affected my self-esteem and deeply affected my worth, my self-worth, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't have a place to go to talk about it, because what I'm angry about in all of this is that our culture has made this okay. The culture and the shame that we have put on, I'm just talking as a gay man. I'm not even talking about what we've done to women, which is a whole nother conversation about Harvey Weinstein and all of that. But from my perspective, the fact that we've made it okay for centuries to bully and make fun of gay men, young gay men, and for my circumstances, I wasn't allowed to talk about being openly gay. I wasn't allowed to be openly gay. There was nowhere for me to go to talk about it. And when I did talk about it, there was an immediate shame put on me. So imagine me now openly gay and proud of it. That was in the 90s. Kevin Spacey is 20, 30 years older than me. So in 1986, a 26-year-old man has been taught for years and years and years to be ashamed of his own sexuality. And our culture has done that. So we can talk about blaming him and being angry at him, and that's fine. And we can fire him and we can do all this stuff, but that's not going to change anything until we change the collective here, until we start to make it okay for people to talk about it. And this industry, what it's done time and time again is it continues to objectify people. And this is an issue I have even in the theater community, that there are certain people in this business who I have heard say they will only hire people that they want to sleep with. Now, as much as, sex sells, I get it. But, what do you expect is going to happen? What do you think people's worth goes? What do you think, what kind of events and things are going to happen when you're basing your casting, you're basing everything at that level? People don't have self-respect. People become more obsessed with how they look than how they affect others and the work that they do. And it is an industry that is based on looks. But until we start to change the collective idea, Harvey Weinstein got to where he is because people bought tickets to his movies, because people supported him. Kevin Spacey's gotten to where he is because people supported him, and people in the industry supported him. People are okay with this dysfunctional behavior because they think it's evocative, they think it sells tickets, or they think it buys money. And until we as a collective, and then look at our administration, and look at what we've done to the country, right? And that's a collective thing. This isn't something that just happened overnight. This is something that's happened over decades and decades of allowing shame to win, allowing people in power who put people in their place, who take advantage of their power to rule. And for me, one of the things that I have struggled with ever since those events, and even now, is how to find my worth, how to feel like I'm more than who I am, I'm more than what I do, I'm a person underneath all of these external things. And it is a constant struggle. And now with Instagram and YouTube and creating this content, I notice people on Instagram who get the most likes are the ones who are in their underwear. The people who get the most likes, are the ones who are the most evocative. And I think until we change the culture, and we make it about the people who are the most human, we start to see people for who they are more than what they look like. Speaking from my own perspective, I'm not saying Kevin Spacey should be let off the hook, but I do think that nothing's going to change. You can fire him, and you can be angry at him, and you can be mad at him, but nothing's going to change until we tell those 14-year-old gay boys that they're more than this, that they're okay, and that they can stand up to someone and say no. No one taught me that. No one taught me to say no. No one taught me that I deserve more than just that I can get what I want without having to give up who I am. And that's so important, that we start to have these conversations about sex. We start to have conversations about the fact that people in power will want to take advantage of young people who are in delicate situations where they're vulnerable because their family won't discuss their sexuality. They're vulnerable because the culture won't discuss their sexuality, and the culture puts shame on gay men and gay sexuality. And that's why we have such dysfunctional sexual behavior within the gay community. And I'm sorry, I that's how I see it. I think that's people take advantage where there's weakness. And until we as a collective strengthen everyone, people in power are going to continue to take advantage of the people who are the most vulnerable. And that's what I see that happened with Kevin Spacey and Anthony Rapp. Anthony Rapp was a vulnerable young gay man in 1986. And he was a vulnerable, older gay man who was filled with shame and unable to talk about it. What do you think is going to happen? And it's happened time and time again, and nobody wants to talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more you release shame. And I think it's important that I speak up. It's much easier to just throw the blame, but we all have a part in this. Everyone has a part in this. This is a collective thing that is happening. And until we as a collective change our purchasing habits, the movies we watch, the people we support, the people we vote for, the people we stand behind, nothing's going to change. So I encourage you, where can you stand up, have a conversation with somebody that's difficult so that we can start to change the collective?